Story time. That purple thing back there, it has not moved in like a month. We're gonna try to change that today. The thing has had a battery drain issue for a while. We haven't got down to the bottom of it yet, haven't really messed with it. That stops today. I'm gonna try to get into it and see if we can fix it. We got a decent sized show coming up in a couple weeks and I don't want her to be stranded there. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. First thing I wanna do is I'm gonna swap battery cables. Positive and the negative, the connectors on the end to the battery are not the greatest. There's also a ground going from the negative to the fender I want to change, and I just want to fix all the wiring there and see if that might be the root of the issue. Maybe bad ground, bad cables, not good connection, who knows. But we're gonna get into it and see if we can get this purple thing running. Alright, as you can see, we have our high-tech hood prop. If you get a fiberglass hood for this thing, the OEM springs are too heavy, so we still have not got a prop that goes on top of the core support, so that plank of wood will do. As you can see here, let me get out of the freaking shadow. Not terrible, not the greatest. That is not good. So we are going to change that. And also the ground to this fender is not even connected, so that might be a cause of the problem too. But I'm gonna change that, I'm gonna change that. But I am gonna see if this thing starts, because it has not been connected up for a while, so let's see if it starts. Well, the light's on, so that's a start, I guess. Let's see what we got. No bueno. Alright, that's not good. Need to jump. So, I'm just gonna leave it here. It didn't start. I'm just gonna work on it right here. So, I think we're gonna start with the negative, because that's obviously the easiest. I think it just goes to the block. We're gonna figure it out. So, I'm gonna start with the negative and go from there. Shouldn't be too hard. Tennis last words, but let's do it. Alright guys, so I'm up under here. I just got the ground off of the frame where it's grounded to the frame right there. And then the next thing is there's a ground going to the block, which is 2 nuts. I gotta slide that off like that. There's another nut right there that connects the cable to it, so I can get the nut off. Alright, negative cable is off. The ground to the frame sucked because the bolt was completely rounded. I couldn't get a socket on it. This was just like really tight up against like the edges, so it's hard to get a ratchet on it, but we're good. Got with the wrench, so now on to the positive. So we don't need this anymore. Wild man on the run. Alright, anyway, we are all done here. We got the positive and negative off. Like I said, the negative was just the ground at the frame, and then the stud that goes into the side of the block, and that holds this guy, another clip. But after you get those off, and the frame ground, that is off, so that's good. And the positive, that one was actually really easy. It was just the one going down to the starter, and then this running across to the starting solenoid. So very easy. It looks gonna be deceiving. It actually looks like it was gonna be a pain because it was all wire loomed nicely, but after you get out of the loom, that's all it is. So that's good. We're gonna run to AutoZone and see if they have anything. If not, I've seen Parts Geek have the same exact replicas that we need. So, but it doesn't hurt to try AutoZone. I've seen one on the website that looked identical. So we're gonna see if they get that, and we're gonna try to get it on. So let's do it. Alright, we're back working on this piece of we got cables for the Bronco. We are going to be ready to rock and roll. These crusty looking things are getting out of here. That is just not good. And we don't need that. And we don't need that. That one's really bad. So, I'll the only one to do. We got some cables from AutoZone. They didn't have them in stock, but with ordering them, they were there the next day, so oh well. Here's the negative, obviously has the frame ground and extra ground that goes to the fender, which is fantastic because I pointed out that that one is not even doing anything. So there's a negative. Get the positive out here. It's positive. It is a tad long, very long, but I might be able to coil it up a little bit next to the starter. before bolting it to it. So we're ready to rock and roll. So let's get this thing together. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start off here with a positive. Got this wire loom that runs down to the starter. I'm going to go ahead and feed this end down in it, all the way through it, bolt it up, and then I'll feed the other half through here that connects to the starting solenoid. So go ahead and feed that loom, connect to the starter. Hooked up to the starter, check. Hooked up to the starting solenoid, also check. Alright, that being said, it's time for the negative. So I'm going to feed the negative down there along with this loom, and then get the ground to the frame hooked up, and then get the bolt stud for the, the block. Yeah, we're going to get that in there with the clamps to hold the wiring, and then it'll be all done. Alright guys, we got the ground for the engine block all done. Got the stud in there, wire on it, and the clips that hold the wires and training lines. And now we got the other ground going to the frame tightened down, so it's time to move up and get the one on the fender. Alright, got the negative cable ran up here to the fender. There's the negative. Positive is done to the solenoid and everything, down to the starter. And we're all good to go. Don't mind these, these are for the rock lights. I'll hook those up to these once the battery comes on. I think we're ready for a battery, so let's put it on. Alright, let's see if she fires up. Give her a crank. No. That's not what we want. That's not good. Stand by. Well, it helps if the idiot working on this tighten those two nuts up. So try to start it now and see what happens. Alright, I guess it didn't matter. Good lord. Okay. Alright, so with the whole debacle yesterday with the starting solenoid just clicking, we double checked every connection for the cables down to the starter, down to the block, the frame, ground, to the solenoid. Everything looked perfect. And the starting solenoid, as you've seen, just click, click, click. That's all it did. So that's new, but I decided to take that back to AutoZone and get it replaced because it was under warranty anyways. So while I was there, we took the old battery out and tested it, and it was bad. So now we got, well, it's not new, as you can see, there's quite a bit of purple overspray on it because some idiot was painting in the garage with it. Anyways, so that's one of my old Duralast gold batteries. That's a spare. Put that in here. New starting solenoid, new cables, as you guys seen already. So we got new cables, starting solenoid, new battery. So hopefully this thing's gonna start now. I mean, it should. Literally everything is new. So we'll see what we can do. Fingers crossed. That's a little better than click, click, click. Nice. Nice. This thing has been dead for a long time, and we didn't even think to check the battery because it was a decently new battery, but it was a cheaper one, so we swapped that out for Duralast Gold. That's all the new goodies, and she's good to go now. So now we can actually drive this thing. And we need to replace that freaking plank and get the actual hood prop for this thing, but maybe one day. Man, this thing needs a bath. What do you think, Axel? This thing's dirty. Holy, this has been sitting for a couple months. Alright, I know I haven't done any Bronco content here recently, but they're all still here. I've been driving mine quite a bit here and there to work. Everything's still going good with it. Now, there is one that needs a little bit of work. And that would be this one right here. This thing is rough looking. So, biggest thing, it's missing a power steering pump. And that brand new gearbox I was put in a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago I should say, is missing as well. So this thing was doing some leaky up at the steering gearbox, so we got a new blue top. Fast forward a couple weeks after installing it, it was leaking like a sieve again, so that got shipped back. He's got a new steering pump Just figured might as well swap that too. So that's chilling right here. He's got brackets over here to paint. Got to paint those before putting them on. Yeah, we really haven't been doing much Bronco content because obviously that's a customer, don't worry about that. Obviously that one was dead. This one's been having issues. It's got a leaky rear end too. And leaky transfer case. This poor thing has not been moved in a hot minute. As you can see, the hood is just disgusting because it has not moved. Yeah, no good. So not much Bronco content recently because 2 of the 3 of them have been down. Luckily mine's been good, knock on wood, but then again I have the most money into it, so. Gosh, that is disgusting. But at least we got 2 of the 3 running good now. Like I said, mine's been just fine here recently. Guess what happens when you put tens of thousands of dollars into it, but that's been running good recently. We got Bailey's going good now. A ton of new parts, as you guys see. You got new starting solenoid, a new, not so new battery, new cables. We also put on a new starter on it, so a lot of new components there. So that thing's going to be running good now. Dad's is going to be running good here soon. Just needs all of his steering components back on. Going to paint those brackets before it gets the pump on. Then the gearbox will be rebuilt and put back in it. So I just want to give you guys a little update. I know we haven't posted anything in 2 or 3 months. So just a little bit of work here and there, a little bit of maintenance, and show you guys what's going on with them all. So be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.